In this video, I'm going to walk you through the secrets, if you will, that has helped over 200 e-commerce brands that I've worked with scale to record revenue months, whether it's their first 20K, 30K, 50K, even 100K per month. They're all in different realms given their specific circumstances. But this is stemmed off the back of my e-commerce brand that I co-founded in 2013. I left out my corporate job with my brother. We started a business from the kitchen bench in cold pressed juice cleansing, and we bootstrapped the entire thing the whole way through. This business has now gone on to do multiple seven figures. So we did something right. And the reason I've actually been able to help these couple of hundred brands hit record revenue months is through that experience, through a lot of trial and error, through just being in business and e-commerce for the last 13, 14 years. And a question I get asked quite a lot from people within the community, but also specifically outside of the community is, well, what makes these brands successful? You know, what's like the magic or the secret sauce that they have that others don't have? And it's a really important question. It's literally the $1 million question that people ask and should be asking themselves, you know, because there's so much frustration. I know this from my own experience being a business owner. It's like, what am I missing? Why aren't I successful? Why are these people getting X, Y, Z? You know, why are these overnight successes coming out all over the place, whether it's in Facebook groups or even people that you speak with on a day-to-day basis or know of in the industry. And it's, you know, firstly, it's not always what it seems. Yes, they're making some serious progress. And yes, they have some things that you may not have in your possession right now. But there are some other factors as well, such as, you know, timing, and also really getting to work and taking the action that's required. But underneath all of that, there's probably two major things that I'll put it down to about how people grow so quickly and so exponentially. And this is what I observe with, you know, obviously what I teach people within our community, but obviously with how people operate their businesses and get that exponential growth and scale. So the first thing is your audience, all right? So, or what I'd call your sphere of influence is what I call it, because it's not necessarily like people within your audience or on your database or your socials or anything like that. It could be literally people that just know about you. So your sphere of influence is basically people that do know about you. It's someone that you may have served an impression to, that know about your product or your brand in some way, shape, or form, that you can ultimately have some either brand recognition or product recognition, or you've been able to, you know, intrigue them a little bit with what you actually do. So this comes into it with how fast and how far can we go with people knowing about us? That is a really common thing that people say to me. It's like, if only more people knew about me, if only I could get my product in more people's hands, then I'd be, call it successful or at my goals, or, you know, fill in the blank. So that is definitely the first component, is the people that are extremely successful, experience extreme growth and scale with their e-commerce brands, increase their sphere of influence as a priority and continue to do so. Because what can happen if we stagnate, basically our audience or our impact on our audience will begin to decline. So, you know, the same people see us, or, you know, we're presenting the same offers to the same people and it just loses its impact. So you need to understand that you need to continually be increasing the size of your sphere of influence. Now, you can look at it on a monthly basis. You can look at the size of your database growth. You can look at, you know, your reach and impressions, and hopefully all those, you know, Instagram stats and things are going up. They're in the green. But when you look at something, you want to really look at it on a longer time horizon, such as like a 6 or 12 month period. Where is my database now? Where is my database back 12 months ago? And has it grown significantly? So again, when you see these big jumps, these huge leaps in growth, there are certain things and certain triggers throughout the year, but you can even look at it on a year-on-year side, where it's like they've gone from 10K a month and suddenly they're at 50 or 60K a month, and it's been that real exponential growth. But it was the work that they did the 6 or 12 months prior that really made it happen for them. And I put that down to your sphere of influence, or again, your database. How many people know about you? How many people you can communicate with effectively that know, like, and have some form of trust with you. So the first component is our sphere of influence, right? And now that comes through any form of marketing, you know, whether it's word of mouth, whether it's organic, whether it's actually paid ads, whether it's emails, it all contributes to one and the same thing. So really important to understand that every intention needs to be getting more word out there by any means necessary. All marketing forms work. It's just a mixture between your, obviously, time, your resources, and the money you've got to spend, and, you know, the people you've got to help you, if any, right? A lot of people under that sort of 30, 40, 50K a month mark still don't have people that they can lean on to help them with their marketing. Okay, so number one, factor to people growing exponentially and getting that 30 to 100K per month that I've seen in my community and my client base is that they focus on growing their sphere of influence, right? Number one. Number two is that they're able to extract revenue from that sphere of influence ongoing. So I want you to think about it like this. The reason you're not making sales from your emails, the reason you're not making sales from your organic content, the reason you're not making sales potentially from your ads, whether they're retargeting or getting new people in, is because there's a very large portion of people that have seen you or know about you that you're just repeating the same message to. Now, I'm a big advocate, a big fan of like repetition and just continuing to beat the drum of why you're different, everything like that. I think that that's really important. The consistency in message is really, really important for your brand to identify you against everybody else. But we need to be obviously expanding that sphere of influence, as I mentioned, and creating new ways to repackage even something that has existed before. So creating offers and creating things that seem or appear new is a really important thing to presenting offers to our market. So this is something I've spoken about before, which is basically like increasing the size of our database sphere of influence. That's planting seeds. And then the extraction is actually like the harvesting. So presenting offers and lowering the bar for someone to actually become a customer with us. And that's through, as I say, an offer. So we must continue to present offers. We must continue to run sales. Yes, some people are against sales. I don't know why, especially if they make sales, but it must be like a conditioning thing, and we don't want to, get people conditioned to sales and stuff like that. If your sphere of influence is growing fast enough, it doesn't matter. There's always new people coming in. There's always new people seeing you for the first time. There's always people seeing your free shipping threshold, right? Like this is something that, again, people don't understand. Just because you've said something once or you got something on your website that you think people should see, they just don't. They just don't know what you're offering. They don't know how good your offer could be. So we need to find different ways, different angles, different positions, different packaging to say essentially the same thing, even if it is a specific offer, right? It might be like a bundle for 2 for $100 or something. And that's a really great offer. You're like, I've never done that before. No one else in the market is doing that. People don't know about it unless you tell them repeatedly. Like you need to be sick of your own voice kind of thing. You need to the feedback from your market saying, I've heard this before. I'm sick of it. That's when you know you're doing a good job, when people are responding to you like that. And we get emails like that all the time. It's like, stop hammering me with, marketing messages. Like, great, the message is getting through. So that's the second component, is being unapologetic about how much marketing you actually do to your sphere of influence. Okay, so one thing is to build, the second thing is to actually do that marketing. And again, not taking for granted that people don't know who you are, but they want to know who you are. They want to know what you're about. They want to know what you've got to offer, how you can help them solve their problem, get a great deal. Everyone loves a great deal. Okay, so why, as business owners, do a lot of people so against that, right? Even, when they're the first ones, when they're looking for something to buy, to go and look for a discount, look for a deal, look for this or look for that, right? It's so counterintuitive that us as business operators are penny pinchers, when as consumers, we're like the tightest people going around. Like, I just have to call a spade a spade. So just put the shoe on the other foot. If you know that human behavior, people are looking for deals and for offers, go and present that. Give that to them on a silver platter for your brand, all right? Yes, we know the quality is good. Yes, we know it can help them. Yes. But we need to give ourselves the opportunity to get in their hand. If you really do have a great quality product, if you really do believe in it and think that if people get in their hands, they'll buy more or they'll refer their friends, then give them that initial opportunity, okay? Just take the risk on yourself, basically. Have the belief in yourself that, okay, I'll get this sale through at, call it no profit, no margin, but I know they'll come back, or I know they'll refer 3 friends. Profit, bang. Zero marketing cost, for that at the end of the day. So that's the second component, is the people that are successful, the people that I've mentored and coached, they have an established audience that have the focus on it, have built it to a substantial level that it gets, on the other side, the part B, a significant opportunity to harvest from that sphere of influence, whether they have the existing or whether they've been building it over time, but they have the foresight and the longevity to be able to focus on it. And the second thing is that they're consistently able to harvest from it and be able to get sales from it. And they don't stop trying, all right? What someone might see as a failed, email or a failed ad or a failed campaign, the winners see that as lessons and feedback. That's it. Doing the thing, doing the work, actually taking the action is never failure. It's just the feedback. And so you must be, again, unapologetic about putting offers out there, communicating with your audience, communicating with your database. Just, as I say, getting to the point where you feel like you're annoying people is literally the point you need to get to. All right. So I'm just telling you what's worked for us, what's worked for people, over 200 brands I've mentored over the last few years. Okay. Sphere of influence building, presenting offers. Sphere of influence building, presenting offers. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The rest will come into it, right? But standing still, doing nothing, saying, why don't people like my stuff, sort of feeling like poor old me, that doesn't help anyone, especially you, and you're the only one suffering. So this is what we need to focus on. Build that audience, build that audience, build that audience, organic, paid, otherwise, other people's audiences. And then obviously harvest, present offers, repackage offers, just get the deals done, get the product in people's hands. All right. So this was a bit of a topical one just in our community at the moment. I really wanted to share it with, my audience here, just to give you some insight and I guess some encouragement about what to do and what to focus, and really what stands the difference between those that are succeeding and those that are failing right now, because things are challenging for a lot of businesses that I see out there. Whereas those people in our community, they're not worried about these things, right? We're controlling what we can control here. And this is one of those things, because people are always going to be buying things. It's just a decision whether it's buying off you or your competitor. All right. So look, I hope this video was valuable just to share some insights, give you some clarity. If it was, love a like, love a subscribe. I'm presenting videos like this all the time, so I'd love to hear of any ideas, of course, that you guys need help with. But other than that, I appreciate you being here, appreciate you watching till the end here, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.